Before we begin this morning, our thoughts and prayers with the members, staff, Capitol Police, and others who were at the congressional baseball practice this morning. Capitol Hill is something of a community, and while details are still coming in, we already know that this despicable act has affected people that we know and their families. And I know that many of us in this room have already sent or received text messages or emails to and from friends and family that are checking in. So we obviously want to know what happened, but the well-being of our friends and colleagues, especially those wounded, are first in our minds. We're also very grateful to the Capitol Police, who worked diligently to protect us and, as I understand, saved many lives this morning. Well, this morning we're here to talk about self-driving vehicles. Self-driving vehicles have the potential to make transportation smarter, safer, and more accessible. A little over a year ago, we held the first hearing ever in Congress focusing on this technology and had the opportunity to see some of these new vehicles in action. Today we'll be discussing the great potential of this technology, but also the numerous policy questions we will need to address in order to facilitate the testing and safe deployment of these vehicles without delay. Self-driving vehicles are poised to bring enormous disruption to our transportation networks that will improve our lives and our society. Indeed, the CEO of General Motors has said that she envisions more change in the auto industry in the next 5 years than have occurred in the last 50. For many Americans, that change can't come soon enough. In 2015, over 35,000 people died in motor vehicle crashes in the United States, or nearly 100 people per day. That includes car and truck drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians. Worldwide, we lose, on average, 3,500 people per day. With more than 90% of those deaths attributable to human error, self-driving vehicles, which after all can't fall asleep, use drugs or alcohol, or get distracted by texting, have the potential to reduce these tragic numbers dramatically. Drunk driving in particular has been a significant challenge, and I appreciate Mothers Against Drunk Driving for being here today to discuss this issue. Self-driving vehicles also have the potential to improve mobility for many Americans and fundamentally change the way many of us get around. Offering a new means of accessible transportation, including for our nation's seniors, and lessening congestion will improve productivity and efficiency in all of our lives. Strategy Analytics and Intel predict self-driving technology will enable a new global passenger economy worth $7 trillion by the year 2050, representing an incredible transformation of the world economy. Self-driving vehicles are no longer a dream of science fiction. Stepping stones to self-driving vehicles are already in cars on the road today. Technologies like automatic emergency braking and lane keeping are proving their worth. While technology challenges still exist, manufacturers are becoming increasingly confident that the technology for fully self-driving vehicles will be ready by 2021, just a few short years away. In fact, just last week, I rode in a Level 3 Audi A7 prototype. The company plans to release a Level 3 vehicle to the public next year. Manufacturers are asking for regulatory certainty now so that when the time comes, they will be able to deploy these vehicles. These great changes are coming fast, and the federal government must be ready to keep pace. As other countries devote significant attention and effort to stimulating this technology, strong federal leadership will be necessary to maintain our position as a global leader of this innovation. There are several hurdles to achieving this goal, and Senator Peters, Ranking Member Nelson, and I are working together on possible legislative solutions. In fact, just yesterday we released principles for bipartisan legislation to guide this effort. The transportation laws and regulations currently on the books did not contemplate the concept of self-driving vehicles. Current federal motor vehicle safety standards do not address automated technologies and in some cases directly conflict with them. We are looking for ways to address these conflicts in dated rules without weakening the important vehicle safety protections that they provide. We also must be careful to avoid picking winners and losers in the space. Self-driving vehicles may employ different technologies and their deployment may follow varying business models. So it is important for Congress not to favor one path before the market figures out what really works the best. And while we look for ways to help self-driving vehicles get on the road quickly, we need to make sure that safety remains our #1 priority. Industry must find ways to show that technology is safe and reliable to address public skepticism. The federal government must also recognize that it does not have all the answers. Instead, it must seek outside technology expertise to begin the hard work of updating existing standards and setting new rules. As I've said before, government needs to challenge itself to overcome the traditional 20th century conception and regulation of a car and a human driver. AVs will, over time, bring changes to jobs, insurance, law enforcement, infrastructure, and many other things that we cannot yet foresee. Similar to when the car was first invented, these challenges are not insurmountable. I remain committed to a thoughtful discussion with today's panelists who share my goal to maintain American innovation leadership and to make safety paramount. I look forward to working with my colleagues on this committee as we move forward with potential legislation. And I now want to turn to our ranking member for the hearing today, Senator Peters from Michigan, for his opening statement.